morning. The next young lady that I'm going to introduce is Anna. And Anna came to me at the end of January and said, I'd like to ask you to introduce me for my senior talk. I said, well, I would be really honored to do that. I said, when is your talk? And she said, March 9th. And I said, great. That gives me a month and a half to come up with all the bad things I can say about you. Just kidding. Here's what I want to say about Anna. Anna's a beautiful young lady inside and out. Anna's very intelligent, bright, smart. I think probably her ACT score is about double of what mine was many moons ago. She's very athletic. I had the great privilege to coach her in both basketball and soccer. She just excels in whatever sport she plays. She's very funny. Last fall, there weren't too many practices in soccer that we didn't start or end practice with a joke from Anna. You know, she kept us all laughing. She smiles all the time. I love that about her. When you walk through the halls and you see Anna, she's smiling. And I love that about her. If you are an underclassman, a junior, sophomore, freshman, and you don't know Anna very well, here's what I would say. She's going to be here for 2 more months. You need to get to know Anna Ioannidis, because she is probably one of the most well-rounded young people you'll ever meet. I also want to tell you about her music. If you've never heard her play the piano, she's an outstanding pianist. I'm very envious because I played piano for 5 years and quit, and I've always regretted it. And when I hear Anna play, it makes me a little jealous because she plays so beautifully. And so if you don't know her, you need to get to know her. The last thing I'd like to say is that the hardest thing about coaching Anna happened for me the first time I went to fill out the scorebook. Because I realized at that point, every time we have a game, I got to remember how to spell her last name. And I am now an expert on it. Ioannidis. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to present to you Miss Anna Ioannidis. And I did get something for you.
In a sense, we are all tree planters. We go through life, and our behavior, seen by others, is like little seeds planted in their life. However, it is up to us to choose whether we want those seeds to grow and leave a strong tree with delicious fruit in their place, or a dried-up little shrub with yucky fruit. Regardless of whether we want them to or not, our behavior and actions always have an impact on someone, whether it is good or bad. So we always need to be conscious of the example we set of ourselves before others. If we follow Christ's commandment to lead others to Him, then we must be aware that everything we do reflects our purpose to that command, or our response to that command. If we purposely go out of our way to influence someone else for Him, they will be able to notice the difference in our behavior. Many of you, like me, have wondered what you're supposed to do with your life. High school is coming to a close faster than we know it, and time is running out to make that decision. But there's no need to worry and stress over what needs to happen next. Instead, we need to live our lives to the fullest and trust in God to use us to fulfill His ultimate purpose. He will never allow His word to return void, and as long as we do the little things, He will take care of the big picture. If we remain faithful, He will grow the seeds we have planted. The end results might not always be visible right away. Nevertheless, God will still fulfill His purpose through us. William James basically summed it all up when he said, "The great use